Well, good evening and welcome to Weslaco's Wildcats softball stadium for tonight's district matchup between your Lady Wildcats and the visiting team, the Harlingen South Lady Hawks. Lady Hawks are the visiting team, so they'll be batting first. Let's go and give you the batting order. They'll start off things with the shortstop, Jalen Mata. Batting second will be the third baseman, Sonny Wheeler. In the three-hole is going to be the designated player, Raylin Grimaldo. In the cleanup position will be the catcher, Layla Lamb. First pitch is going to be outside for ball one. Batting fifth is going to be Yvette Garza playing second base. In the sixth spot is going to be the right fielder, Georgia Chapa. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Michaela Lamb. Batting eighth, the center fielder, Kayla Garza. And the left fielder is batting ninth. That is Lauren Gonzalez. Second pitch is in there for strike one. So 1-1 count is to the batter, the leadoff batter, Jalen Mata. Your Wildcats defensively line up like this. That pitch is on the inside corner for strike one. In left field, you have Serenity Vallejo. Center field, Saraí Gonzalez. In right field, Cindy Morales. The third baseman is Elena Bautista. Second baseman is Kaylin Morales. The first baseman is Elaine Hernandez. The shortstop is Avery Cavazos. Bella Hernandez is behind the plate doing the catching. And in the circle today is Aubrey Zuniga. 2-2 count to the batter, the leadoff batter. That is Jalen Mata. That is swung on, hit to center fielder, to center field area, and the center fielder, Saraí Gonzalez, moves over to her left, makes the grab for out number one. That'll bring up the second batter, number 11, Sonny Wheeler. First pitch is high and outside for ball one. Here comes the 1-0. That is in there for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to the batter, the third baseman, Sonny Wheeler. That is swung on down the third base line. Coach Rios grabs it, throws it back in, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2. That is high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count on the batter, Sonny Wheeler. Two pitch on its way. Little low for ball 3. The count is full. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Payoff pitch. Inside, says home plate umpire Willie Infante, and that'll send Sonny Wheeler over to first base on a free pass with a runner at first, 1 out. That'll bring up the designated player, Raylin Grimaldo. Outside snap throw back to first. In time is the runner Wheeler. 1-0 count. Swung on. This is going to be in the gap in right center field. Right fielder Morales swings over to grab it, and the throw to third will allow Grimaldo to advance to second. So that'll be a single and an advance on the throw. But nonetheless, there are 2 runners in scoring position with one out, and the cleanup batter, Layla Lamb, the catcher, at the plate. First pitch, low and inside for ball one. Swung on, fly ball to center field. Back goes Gonzalez. That is going to be off the wall. Run will come in for sure. And a runner advances to third in Grimaldo, and that is going to be a 1 RBI single for Layla Lamb. She hit it off the the right center field wall, and the Hawks up 1-0. Only reason Grimaldo did not score is she held up to check if Gonzalez was going to be able to catch that one. She was ready to tag. Therefore, she'll stay at third. But we've got runners at the corner. Still just one out. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Yvette Garcia. Showing bunt, she fouls it back. Strike one. Oh, 1 count on the batter, Garcia. Swung on, fly ball. It's in the infield. Caught by the second baseman. Goes to first. Kaylin Morales tried to get it back quickly to Hernandez because Layla Lamb had taken off. But the throw was a little off the target, pulling Hernandez off the bag, thus allowing Lamb to get back safely. So with 2 outs, still runners at the corner, that'll bring up Georgia Chapa. First pitch missing for ball one. That's going to be outside. Throw to third. Not in time. Grimaldo had taken quite a big lead and just paused there after about 4 steps. Herrera saw that, didn't even get up out of her squat and just fired it to third. Bautista doing a great job trying to lay down the tag. But Grimaldo getting back underneath. Swung on, that's a little late, and it'll go down the third base line for strike 2. I'm sorry, for strike 1. He's got 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike is the count to Chapa. Runner going, and that one is in there for strike 2. Layla Lamb heads to second uncontested, so we got 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs and a 2-2 count on the batter, Georgia Chapa. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Zuniga gets herself out of a jam. However, 1 run does come across on 2 hits. 2 runners left on. We head to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Hawks.
Before taking this art class, I only thought of art as a fun hobby, but now my art is going into a museum. This is a really big deal for me.
Registration is now open for the 2025-2026 school year.
We head to the bottom of the first inning. Lady Wildcats coming up to bat, and they'll bat in this order. Leading things off is going to be Kaylin Morales, the second baseman. Shortstop Avery Cavazos batting second. The third baseman will be batting third, Elena Bautista. In the cleanup position going to be Aubrey Zuniga, the pitcher. The catcher is batting fifth, Bella Herrera. Batting sixth is going to be the center fielder, Sari Gonzalez. Mariah Lopez, the designated player, batting seventh. Sydney Morales, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Elaine Hernandez, the first baseman, batting ninth. The Lady Hawks will line up like this defensively. In left field, Lauren Gonzalez. Center field, Kayla Garza. In right field, Georgia Chapa. The third baseman is Sunny Wheeler. Second baseman is Yvette Garcia. At first base is Michaela Lamb. The shortstop, Jalen Mata. Layla Lamb doing the catching. And in the circle for the Lady Hawks is Angela Perez. So Kaylin Morales, the left-handed batter for your Lady Wildcats, starting things off here. Swings at the first pitch, right past the first baseman, goes to right field for a base hit. So Kaylin Morales jumps on the first pitch she sees, knocks it right by the first baseman, Lamb, into right field for a leadoff single. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Avery Cavazos. Cavazos, a right-handed batter for your Lady Wildcats. Showing bunt, brings the bat back, watches the first pitch go by, low and outside for ball one. Here comes the 1-0. Swings at that one right at the third baseman, picks it up on one hop, tries to go to second, cannot. It goes to first. It's an errant throw, gets by the first baseman, and the runners will advance. And here comes Morales to home. Can she beat the tag? She does. And advancing to third on the throw is Cavazos. So Cavazos on an infield single gets all the way to third on a errant throw, and scoring is Kaylin Morales. And just like that, we are tied at 1. That'll bring up Elena Bautista, the third baseman. There's only been 3 pitches thrown here so far. Lady Wildcats jumping on the first strike they see. Being aggressive at the plate here tonight. First pitch is right on the outside corner for strike 1. Bautista did not like it, but home plate umpire Willie Infante says that is a strike. 0-1 is the count. That one just a bit outside. Bettis trying to go to the same spot she did on the previous pitch, maybe going a little outside just to see if she could get Bautista to chase something out of the zone. But Bautista very disciplined there in the box and not going after it. So the 1-1 pitch is on its way. Swung on. That is going to go right up the middle for a base hit. And that's an RBI single for Bautista. So the Lady Wildcats open up with 3 base hits. And now are up 2-1. Excuse me. That'll bring up the pitcher, Aubrey Zuniga. Pitch is low for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. That is high and outside for ball 2. Really good crowd on hand tonight from both sides. We'll give you a little bit of why in just a little bit. That is outside for ball 3. Here comes the 3-0. That one is in there for strike one. That is only the second strike that the Lady Wildcats have let go by this evening. One was Bautista, which she just didn't like. That one was a 3-0 pitch, which was probably taking all the way. That is Zuniga. Swung on that one, hit it hard. That's going to tail foul for strike two. So Aubrey Zuniga now looking at a full count. Both teams coming in with a 6-5 record. Tied for fourth place in the standings. So playoff spot on the line possibly. That is why we have a big crowd. Swings at that one, fly ball to center field. Garza goes back at the wall and watches it go by. That is a 2-run home run for Aubrey Zuniga. And now your Lady Wildcats are up 4-1 here in the bottom of the first. And now batting is going to be Bella Herrera, the catcher. The Harlingen South Lady Hawks have the advantage as they took the first game 7-6 over at their place. So the Lady Wildcats looking to split the series, but more than anything else, go one game up with a win here today. First pitch high and outside for ball one. That pitch just a bit outside for ball two. Bettis is really looking to try to play on that outside corner. Did get one called. Back on Bautista. But everything else has just missed it by a bit. That one missing inside for ball three. And every Lady Wildcat who has been at the plate has hit the ball, and that is probably why Bettis is trying to play with that outside corner, throwing something away, or maybe trying to get something to be chased. That is ball four. So after giving up a home run on 4 straight pitches, gives up another base, and that'll bring up Sarai Gonzalez, the center fielder. We are going to have a courtesy runner for the catcher, Bella Herrera, and that is going to be Jaylin Zuniga. She'll come out and run. Again, the Lady Hawks will have a meeting at the circle. They break. Gonzalez, another left-handed batter for the Lady Wildcats. So the first pitch to Gonzalez. Showing bunt, puts it down right at the pitcher. Pitcher's going to go to first, and she'll get the leadoff runner, or the leading runner, for the first out of the inning. But that bunt does advance the runner, who is Zuniga, into scoring position at second base with just one out. So that'll be a good sacrifice there for Gonzalez. And it's now going to be the designated player, Mariah Lopez. Lopez, a right-handed batter for your Wildcats. First pitch, missing low for ball one. Swing and a miss for strike one. Lopez the batter, 1-1 count. Swung on, fouled down the right field side of the park. It'll catch the netting. And it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outside for ball 2. Swung on, that is right back at the pitcher. She'll turn around and go to first for another out at first, and that'll advance the runner to third. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up the right fielder, Sidney Morales. Zuniga at third. First pitch outside, ball 1. Swung on, hit to the right center gap. That's going to go off the wall. That'll bring in a run, and that's a 2-base RBI double for Morales. Now the score is 5-1. Lady Wildcats on top. That'll bring up the 9th batter of the inning, the first baseman, Elena Hernandez. First pitch inside for ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Two-0 count. Pitch in there for strike 1. Two-one is the count to the batter, Elaine Hernandez. Swung on, fly ball to right field. Chapa under it, makes the grab for out number 3. But your Lady Wildcats do score 5 runs on 5 hits, leave 1 runner stranded as we head to the second. It is your Lady Wildcats 5, the Lady Hawks 1. Second inning just about to get underway. Lady Hawks coming to bat. They'll send batters 7, 8, and 9 to the plate. All to face the pitcher, Aubrey Suniga. Michaela Lamb, the first baseman, leading things off here in the second inning, watches the first pitch go by for strike one. That is a curveball, strike two. Good looking movement on that one, as Lamb just watched it tail away from her. 0-2 pitch on its way. Inside for strike three. Second strikeout of the night for Suniga. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Kayla Garza. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it back for strike one. Swings at the second pitch, fouls it back for strike two. High for ball one. High for ball two. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swung on, fly ball. Back goes the shortstop. In comes the center fielder. And it is caught by the center fielder, Gonzalez, for out number 2. That'll bring up Lauren Gonzalez, the left fielder. Shows bunt, puts it down. Pitcher picks it up, fires over to first. Morales there to cover, and a good job by Suniga as she has a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still your Lady Wildcats 5, Lady Hawks 1. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Lady Wildcats will begin things like they just began the game with the leadoff batter, Kaylin Morales, as they batted 9 in the first inning. Morales got things started in the first as she swung on the first pitch. Base hit to right field, then scored. She's 1 for 1 tonight. Batting for the second time, facing the pitcher, Angela Perez. First pitch is low and outside for ball one. Swings at the second pitch, fly ball. Second baseman calls everybody off. That's Yvette Garcia, and she makes a grab for out number 1. That'll bring up Avery Cavazos, the shortstop. Get a little dribbler to the third baseman, was able to beat out the throw. And then on the errant throw from third to first, was able to advance. She also scored. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. The catcher, Lamb, cannot hang on to it. So that is going to be strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch is high for ball 1. Here comes the 1-1. That swung on right at the third baseman again. Throw on its way, not in time. So for the second time, Avery Cavazos is on board on an infield hit. That'll bring up Alana Bautista. Bautista singled to right center, had an RBI. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Swings at that pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled back. That's going to be out of play. And the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, and that's going to be a base hit into left center field. It's going to get almost to the wall. Center fielder Garza cuts it off, and that's a double for Alana Bautista. So there are 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, and that'll bring up Aubrey Zuniga. She hit one out of the park her first time at the plate. Brought 2 in. 1 for 1 tonight. See how Perez handles her here second time around. First pitch outside for ball 1. Changeup missing outside for ball 2. Here comes the 2-0. High, ball 3. So Perez not wanting to give anything to Zuniga that she can take a really good whack at. But with a 3-0 count, not sure if they'll give Zuniga the green light here. They do have a spot for her as first base is open. So that's strike one. That's ball four. So now the bases are loaded. And that'll bring up Bella Hernandez. I'm sorry, Bella Herrera. My apologies. Bella Herrera is now batting. Herrera walked her first time on 4 straight pitches. So we'll see what they give her here now that she's up at bat for the second time. We do have a courtesy runner in Astrid Cabrera running for Zuniga. First pitch to Herrera. That is in there for strike one. Changeup missing for ball one. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on. That is into the left center gap. 1 run will come in. 2 runs are on its way. And that's a 2 RBI single for Bella Herrera. And now the score is 7-1. Herrera coming up clutch after walking her first time at the plate. Whacks one into left center field, brings in 2 runs, and now Coach Rios is going to come to the circle and talk things over with Angela Perez, his pitcher. We will have a pitching change, so while all that happens, we're going to take a timeout. You're enjoying Lady Wildcat softball right here on K-West.
Before taking this art class, I only thought of art as a fun hobby, but now my art is going into a museum. This is a really big deal for me.
Registration is now open for the 2025-2026 school year.
We've got a pitching change for the Hawks. Now in the circle is going to be Sofia Gonzalez with 1 out, and she will face Sarai Gonzalez. Gonzalez grounded out to the pitcher her first time at the plate, 0 for 1 today. Shows bunt, foul down the third base side of the field. There are runners at first and second, and those, of course, belong to the starting pitcher, Perez. So 0-1 to count to Gonzalez. That is on the outside corner for strike 2. Swung on, fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 once again. That's going to be outside for ball one. One, two is the count to Sarai Gonzalez. That is down the third base side foul. Count remains 1-2. Good at bat for Gonzalez. That is at the third base and picks it up on one hop, goes to first in time for out number 2. However, the runners do advance to second and to third. And that'll bring up the designated player, Mariah Lopez. Lopez also grounded out to the pitcher back in the first inning. She's 0 for 1 tonight. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs for Lopez. First pitch low for ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Here comes the 1-1. Inside for ball 2. Hit. Second baseman picks it up on 2 hops. Fires it to first. It misses away from the first baseman. And 2 more runs are going to come in. Lopez will advance on the errant throw to second. However, 2 runs do come in. And now the score is 9-1. Sydney Morales at the plate. Had a double off the right center field wall back in the first. First pitch to Morales. Low and inside for ball 1. Swings at that one. Fouled off to the right side for strike 1. Here comes the 1-1. Little outside for ball 2. That is low for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Runner at second. Sydney Morales at the plate. And lays off of that one for ball 4. So with 2 outs, runners at first and second, that's going to bring up Elaine Hernandez, the 9th batter of the inning. So for the second time here tonight in as many innings, the Lady Wildcats send 9 batters to the plate. Hernandez 0 for 1 tonight. She flew out to right field back in the first. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Swung on and fouled back for strike 2. Behind on the count is Hernandez, 0-2. Pitch on its way, and that's in there for called strike 3. But your Lady Wildcats do get 4 more across here in the bottom of the second. We head to the third. Lady Wildcats now up 9-1.
Welcome to our Weslaco ISD Elementary School. Today I'll be learning about the anatomy of a cell. But later today it will be lights, camera, action, and in the news. Or, alright, who's ready to rock and roll? Or getting ready for my swimming lesson from a certified lifeguard instructor. Weslaco ISD Elementary Schools, where we are living our best lives now.
To the third inning we go. Lady Hawks get things started off with the top of the order. Jaylyn Mata, Sunny Wheeler, and Raylyn Grimaldo coming to the plate. All to face Aubrey Zuniga. First pitch inside for ball 1. Mata's 0 for 1 tonight. She flew out to center field back in the first. Swings at that one, goes back to center field. Gonzalez goes back off the wall. So that's a double for Mata here in the third as she leads things off for the Lady Hawks. Sunny Wheeler now up for the Lady Hawks. She walked and scored back in the first. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. This is going to head out of play. Nothing one is the count to Wheeler. Swings at that one right at the shortstop. Cavazos picks it up, fires at the first. Good job by Hernandez to keep that one from getting away and secures it for out number 1. But the runner does advance to third as Mata hopped over that one. That'll bring up Raylyn Grimaldo, the designated player. She singled to right back in the first, drove in the only run the Hawks have. Watches the first pitch go by for strike 1, snap throw back to third. In time is the runner, the runner Mata. Renee Cruz at the bases says she's in time. Nothing one is the count. Pitch missing just a bit high for ball 1. Outside for ball 2. Lights are now on as the sun is beginning to set here at Wildcats softball field. We are in the top of the third. Just a bit high for ball 3. Herrera turns around, asks home plate umpire Infante what exactly he was looking for, and you can see Herrera saying bring it down just a bit. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. That is in there for strike 2. Good looking changeup from Zuniga. So the count is now full on Grimaldo. Payoff pitch on its way. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That is the third strikeout for Zuniga here tonight, and that'll bring up the catcher, Layla Lamb. Layla is 1 for 1. Had a base hit to right center field back in the first. First pitch on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Oh, 1. Swung on, fouled back. Count is now 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Layla Lamb. High for ball 1. Swung on and missed for strike number 3. And Herrera tags her just to secure it. But that is the 4th strikeout for Zuniga. The Lady Hawks do get 1 hit, no runs, 1 runner left on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is your Lady Wildcats 9, the Lady Hawks 1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and leading things off for the 3rd time tonight is going to be Kaylin Morales. She's led off every inning as your Lady Wildcats have sent 9 to the plate each inning. So she led off to start the game, led off in the 2nd, and now leading things off here in the 3rd. She's 1 for 2 tonight, singled and scored in the 1st, popped up to 2nd in the 2nd. Now facing a different pitcher in Sofia Gonzalez. First pitch outside for ball 1. Second pitch outside for ball 2. Kaylin Morales will be playing at Schreiner University next year. Third pitch high for ball 3. Morales ahead in the count, 3-0. Outside. And she's on base again, this time via a walk on 4 straight pitches. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Avery Gonzalez. Avery also facing Gonzalez for the first time here tonight. Her first 2 times at the plate, infield singles down the third base line. See what happens now that she's facing a different pitcher. First pitch on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Outside for ball 1. Low and inside for ball 2. Gonzalez has thrown 7 pitches here in this inning and only 1 strike. See what Cavazos does with the 2-1 pitch. That is high for ball 3, and Morales will go to second base on the wild pitch. So out of the 8 pitches Gonzalez has thrown here in the third, only 1 strike. So we'll see if Cavazos holds off or has the green light. That's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks to get things started here in the second. And that's going to bring up Alana Bautista. Bautista is 2 for 2 tonight. Has scored both times at the plate. First pitch right at the knees for strike 1. That is going to be high for ball 1. Here comes a 1-1. High for ball 2. Swung on right at the first baseman. That's a double play. So with 2 outs, runner at second, that'll bring up the pitcher, Aubrey Zuniga. Zuniga is 1 for 1 tonight, a home run, and she walked back into second. First pitch to her is low and inside for ball 1. That's going to be on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That is in there for strike 2. One-two pitch is on its way. Swung on and fouled back, and the count will remain 1-2 strikes. That may have gotten a piece of Infante. Sitting there trying to shake it off what it looks like from here. Looks like he's okay. His face mask back on. Ready for live action. 1-2 strikes to the batter, Zuniga. Lays off of that one. The count now is even at 2. 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. Swung on, fouled back, and we'll do 2-2 all over again. That's going to make the count full. Here comes the payoff pitch to Zuniga. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to do it for the 3rd inning. Your Lady Wildcats don't have any hits. Do leave 1 runner stranded. We head to the 4th, 9-1. Lady Wildcats still on top.
I've been a basketball player ever since I was in elementary school. Through sports, I've learned to be a leader and manage my time. Soon, I'll be off to college, and I'll have to decide which sport to play at the next level.
Registration is now open for the 2025-2026 school year.
That is on the inside corner for strike 1. 1 strike is the count to the batter, Yvette Garcia. Low and inside for ball 2. Two-one pitch right at the third baseman, and it's picked up by Bautista, fired to Hernandez for out number 1. That was hit hard, and Bautista grabs it on one hop and fires it to first, puts away the leadoff batter. That'll bring up Georgia Chapa. She's 0 for 1 tonight, struck out swinging back in the first. One ball, no strikes to the batter, Chapa. That is in there for strike 1. Good looking off-speed pitch from Zuniga. Zuniga also headed out to play collegiately. She'll be at Southern Arkansas Tech next year. That is on the inside part of the plate for strike 2. One-two pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Count remains 1-2 strikes. Swing, and it gets behind the catcher, and the runner will advance to first. So Chapa gets aboard on that strikeout as it gets away. Third pitch gets away from the catcher. So there is a runner at first with one out. There's a courtesy runner, and that's going to be Aubrey Stevens. So with one out, runner at first, that'll bring up Michaela Lamb. Struck out looking back in the first. 0 for 1 is she. Errant throw gets away from the first baseman. Runner off to second in there sliding. So 1-0 count to the batter Lamb. Put Stevens at second. Herrera going to go talk to Zuniga. Going to make sure everybody's on the same page. Stevens decides she wants to come talk to Coach Rios. So everyone having some kind of discussion here as Lamb is at the plate with a 1-0 count. Check swing. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have a pinch hitter. Just saw the jersey number. Caitlin Gonzalez batting for Lamb. Swings at that one. Shortstop Cavazos picks it up, fires the first for out number 2. Throw on its way to third as Stevens advances on the out, but there are 2 outs. And that'll bring up Kayla Garza, the center fielder. She is 0 for 1 tonight, popped up to center field back in the second inning. First pitch, missing outside for ball 1. Just inside for ball 2. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike on the batter, Kayla Garza. Swung on, hit to center field. Gonzalez gets by her as she waited on it. And that's going to be a double for Garza. And she will drive in a run. And now the score is 9-2. So Garza lines it to center field. And it took a little bit of a spin hop off the turf. Got by Gonzalez. And the Hawks bring one more in, and now that'll bring up the left fielder, Lauren Gonzalez. She swings at the first pitch, fouls it down the right field side of the park. It goes out of play, and the count is 0-1. shows bunt, fouls it back for strike 2. So Suniga ahead in the count, 0-2. That is swung on. First baseman Hernandez couldn't glove it as it gets away from her. And that'll bring in another run. And now the score is 9-3. Are you going to score that in there? So Gonzalez reaches on an error by the first baseman. Run does score, and now it's 9-3. And we go to the top of the order, Jalen Mata. She's 1 for 2 tonight, doubled in the third, flew out in the first. Runner on her way is in there for a stolen base. So now the Hawks with another runner in scoring position. Count is even at 1-1 on Mata. Outside for ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So the count is even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs with a runner at second. Mata showing bunt. Inside, count is now full. So with 2 outs and a full count, the runner will be running. Ball 4. So we got runners at first and second. That'll bring up Sonny Wheeler, the third baseman. Wheeler's 0 for 1 and a walk today. She walked in the first, grounded out in the third. Swings at the first pitch, or checks her swing at the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. That is in there for strike 2. So Suniga ahead in the count, 0-2. Swung on, shortstop Cavazos picks it up, goes to third for the force, and the third out, and that's going to do it for the Hawks. The Lady Hawks do bring 2 runs in, and the score is now 9-3. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Weslaco ISD and Rico Elementary's School of Rock.
I like doing the band because I had my friend join with me, and it's really fun.
I feel very nervous, but also at the same time I feel super duper excited.
It feels awesome because you know that you're a part of something really special.
For experiences like this at Weslaco ISD, register at wisd.us or call 969-6670.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and for the first time tonight, we can say someone other than Kaylin Morales is leading it off. Bella Herrera, the catcher, leading things off here in the bottom of the 4th for your Lady Wildcats. She's 2 for 2 tonight. I'm sorry, 1 for 1 tonight. Walked and a single. And the first pitch she stakes, and it's on the outside part of the play for strike one. I need to turn on the lights. Second pitch misses low for ball one. One count to the batter Herrera. That is outside for ball two. That is outside for ball three. Swung on right back at the pitcher. Gonzalez, she turns around and fires it to first for out number one. That'll bring up the center fielder, Sarai Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 0 for 2 tonight. She's grounded out to the pitcher and grounded out to third. First pitch misses outside for ball one. There's going to be a shift on the defense for the Lady Hawks. Got everybody on the left side of the field. That's going to be fouled out down the behind the visitor. I'm sorry, behind the home dugout. Excuse me. I was about to say the visitors only have 2 players on the right side of the field, which are the first baseman and the right fielder. One pitch to Gonzalez. Swung on and missed for strike two. That is going to be right past the pitcher. Great job by Gonzalez pulling it and hitting it where they ain't. So there's a runner at first, and that'll bring up Mariah Lopez, the designated player. Grounded out in the first. Reached on an error in the second. First pitch, low and inside for ball one. Swung on and missed for strike one. In the turf, wild pitch, runner advances, ball two. So the count is 2 balls and a strike. Runner at second, 1 out. The batter is Mariah Lopez. Swung on, hit to right center field, and that's going to get to the fence. That is going to score 1, and going to third is Lopez. So that's a stand-up triple for Lopez, and she drives in a run, and now the score is 10-3. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Sydney Morales. Morales is 1 for 1 and a walk tonight. First pitch to Morales. That is low for ball 1. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to the batter, Morales. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So there are 2 outs here in the inning. Runner at third. That'll bring up Elaine Hernandez. Hernandez is 0 for 2 tonight. A fly out and a strikeout is what she's done at the plate tonight. That one is in the turf for ball 1. Good stop by the catcher, Lamb. Kept a run from coming in. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Elaine Hernandez. Hernandez, one of the multi-sport athletes here on the Wildcat team. She also is a basketball player for the Lady Wildcats. Takes a pitch, and that one misses for ball 2. Low for ball 3. Here comes the 3-1. Ball 4. Ball gets away. Runner stays. So Elaine Hernandez takes a walk. And with runners at the corner and 2 outs, we go to the top of the order. And it's going to be Kaylin Morales at the plate. She is 1 for 2 and a walk here tonight. Singled in the first, popped up in the second, and walked in the third. Swings at the first pitch, and it's a line drive to the third baseman, and Wheeler sticks her glove up and snags it for out number 3. But your Lady Wildcats do bring one more across, and we've played 4 innings here at Wildcat softball field. And at the end of 4, it is your Lady Wildcats 10, the Lady Hawks 3.
East side, strong side. Let's go Wildcats. Let's go Wildcats. East side, strong side.
We head to the 5th inning. Lady Hawks coming up to the plate with batters 3, 4, and 5. Raylin Grimaldo, Layla Lamb, and Yvette Garcia. Grimaldo is 1 for 2 tonight. She had a single back in the first, an RBI single, and struck out in the third. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back for strike 1. Lays off of that one. It's high for ball 1. Hit to center field. Back goes Gonzalez. She's at the wall and watches it go over for a home run. So Raylin Grimaldo gets things started here in the 5th for the Lady Hawks with a solo shot to center field. And that'll bring up Layla Lamb. Lamb is also 1 for 2. First pitch missing for ball 1. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. Swings at that one. It goes to right field. Gonzalez goes back, and that ball is out of the park. So back-to-back home runs by the Hawks here in the 5th inning. And the score now is 10-5. Coach Vicky Vasquez is going to come and talk things over with her pitcher as she's allowed back-to-back home runs here in the 5th. So as they have a discussion in the circle, we're going to take a timeout as well. You're enjoying Lady Wildcat softball right here on KWS. First one was wind aided. Second one may have been as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might have been. That's why I said might, because it was hit pretty good. But the first one did get wind aid. Quick timeout by Coach Vasquez at the circle. Probably just to let Aubrey know that they are up by 5, so not to worry about it. First pitch to Garcia up in the air, and in comes Hernandez and makes the grab for the first out. It's a good timely chat by Coach Vasquez with Aubrey Zuniga. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the right fielder, Georgia Chapa. She's been struck out twice, but did reach the second time on a wild pitch on the strikeout. Swings at the first pitch and misses for strike 1. Swung at that one. Fly ball. In comes the right fielder. Morales can't get to it. And her sister picks it up off the floor. So a single for Chapa to right field. And that'll bring up Michaela Lamb. She's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out looking in the second. Grounded out to the short in the fourth. I'm sorry, it is not Michaela Lamb. This is going to be the pinch hitter that came to pinch hit, is now stayed in the ball game. And looks at the first pitch for strike one. That's Caitlin Gonzalez. So Gonzalez came in at the last time at the plate, so she grounded out. So she is 0 for 1 tonight. Swings at that one. Fly ball. Gonzalez over to her right. Makes a grab for out number 2. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up the center fielder, Kayla Garza. Garza is 1 for 2 tonight. A fly out to center back in the second and a double in the fourth. Watches that first pitch go right by her for strike one. Runner on her way. Throw in there, not in time. Good throw by Herrera. Cavazos came over to apply the tag. Rene Cruz, the umpire on the bases, says that she is in there. Throw was a little bit to the right. Had that one been right on the money, she would have been out. But nonetheless, the count is 0-2 to the batter. Swung on and fouled back, and the count remains the same at no balls and 2 strikes. So the 0-2 pitch again. That one hits the batter. She seems to be okay. First base coach talking to her, and she's nodding her head, so. Lauren Gonzalez, the left fielder, now at the plate. Grounded out in the second, reached on an error in the fourth. Swings at the first pitch, and that's down the right field line. Sydney Morales comes over and catches it in foul territory for out number 3. But the Lady Hawks do get 2 solo shots. Get 2 more runs here in the 5th. Cut the lead in half. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, it is your Lady Wildcats 10, the Lady Hawks 5.
Before taking this art class, I only thought of art as a fun hobby. But now, my art is going into a museum. This is a really big deal for me.
Registration is now open for the 2025-2026 school year.
We begin the bottom of the 5th inning with Avery Cavazos, Alana Bautista, and Aubrey Zuniga coming to bat for your Lady Wildcats. Cavazos is 2 for 2 and a walk here tonight. Both hits have been down the third base line, right at the third baseman, but she's beat out the throws and then was walked into third. First pitch inside for ball 1. Pitch is high for ball 2. Swings at that one and misses for strike one. So the count is 2 balls and a strike to the shortstop, Avery Cavazos. That is on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Ball low, and the count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Avery Cavazos. And the payoff pitch. Here it comes. Swung on and fouled back, and we'll do 3-2 all over again. Once again, here comes the payoff pitch. That's going to be low for ball 4. And so Avery Cavazos has been on board each time she's been to the plate. She has singled twice and she has walked twice. And that'll bring up Alana Bautista. She is 2 for 3 tonight. A single, a double, and she lined out to the first baseman back in the third. First pitch is inside for ball 1. High for ball 2, wild pitch. Runner advances. So Cavazos now at second. Count is 2-0 to Bautista. That is outside, and the count now is 3 balls and no strikes. Ball 4. So Gonzalez has walked the first 2 batters here in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Aubrey Zuniga. Zuniga is 1 for 2, a walk. She's got a home run and struck out her last time at the plate in the 3rd inning. Nobody out for the batter, Zuniga. Pitch outside for ball 1. Swung on, fouled back is what umpire Infante is saying, so the runners do not advance, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch on its way. That's going to be low for ball 2. Outside for ball 3. Sofia Gonzalez has walked the first 2 batters and is behind in the count 3-1 on the third batter, Aubrey Zuniga. Swung on and missed, and the count now is full. Here comes a payoff pitch to Zuniga. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Gonzalez gets Zuniga to chase something out of the strike zone for the first out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Bella Herrera. Herrera is 1 for 3 tonight. 1 for 2 tonight. She's walked, singled, and grounded out. First pitch missing for ball 1. High for ball 2. That is going to be low for ball 3. So Gonzalez has gotten behind in the count on the last 2 batters. Remember, she's walked the first 2. Ball 4. And now the bases are full. That'll bring up Sarai Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 1 for 3. She singled her last time at the plate. Remember, the shift was on for her where everybody was on the left side of the field. We'll see what they do this time, because she came back and pulled it right by, which would have been the second baseman position her last time at bat. There were multiple handshakes there at the circle. Bases are loaded, 1 out for the batter, Sarai Gonzalez, the center fielder for your Lady Wildcats. They will play her normal this time. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Swings and misses for strike 1. Swings and misses for strike 2. So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the third strikeout for Gonzalez here tonight. And with the bases loaded and 2 outs, that'll bring up Mariah Lopez. Lopez grounded out in the first, reached on an error in the second, and then had that big hit in the fourth, the triple to the right center fence. First pitch to her is low for ball 1. Swings at that one, fouls it back for strike 1. One ball, one strike to Lopez. Missing high and away for ball 2. Swung on and missed for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Gonzalez gets herself out of a jam, walked 3 batters to load the bases, but also struck 3 out, 3 batters to retire the side. And at the end of 5, it is your Lady Wildcats 10, the Lady Hawks 5. We'll be back.
Welcome to Weslaco ISD and Rico Elementary's School of Rock.
I like doing the band because I had my friend join with me, and it's really fun.
I feel very nervous, but also at the same time I feel super duper excited.
It feels awesome because you know that you're a part of something really special.
For experiences like this at Weslaco ISD, register at wisd.us or call 969-6670.
6th inning is where we are at. Lady Hawks trail 5-10. Start at the top of the order with Jaylyn Mata, Sunny Wheeler, and Raylyn Grimaldo. Mata is 1 for 2 tonight. Flew out in the first, doubled in the third, walked in the fourth, and the first pitch to her is ball. So she's got a 1-0 count here in the 6th. Swung on, hit hard to center field. She raises her hand as she knows that one is gone. So just like the last inning, the Lady Hawks begin this inning with a solo shot. And now the score is 10-6. That'll bring up Sunny Wheeler. First pitch missing for ball 1. Wheeler walked in the first, grounded out in the second, and an inning-ending grounder in the third, in which Cavazos went to Bautista, fielder's choice. Strike 1. So the first 2 pitches missing. That one in there for a strike, and the count now is 2 balls and a strike. That is right at the lettering for strike 2. Count is even at 2. Swung on right at Bautista. Grounder. Throws it to first for out number 1. So good job by Bautista to keep that in front of her and fire it to first for the first out. And that'll bring up the designated player, Raylene Grimaldo. First pitch is outside for ball 1. That pitch missing inside for ball 2. Two-0 count. Swung on right at Cavazos. 2-hopper. Fires the first. And that is an errant throw by Cavazos. Runner goes to second. Throw is on its way. Not in time. Coach Vasquez is going to want to challenge that one. So there is going to be a conference between Cruz and Infante. Play stands. So with 1 out, runner at second. That'll bring up Layla Lamb, the catcher. Lamb is 2 for 3. She singled in the first, struck out in the third, and homered her last time at the plate. And that's a hit to left field. So Lamb takes a whack at the first pitch, knocks it into left, and now there are runners at the corner with just 1 out. Yvette Garcia at the plate. Garcia is 0 for 3 tonight. Pop up to second, ground out to the third baseman, and a pop up to first. Swings at the first pitch, right at Cavazos. She can't handle it. And that's going to bring in a run. Did you give her an error? No, because she didn't touch it. No, yeah. So that was going to be scored a hit. So she'll get an RBI for that. And there's going to be runners at first and second. Timeout called on the field. So as they take one on the field, we'll take one as well. You're enjoying Wildcat softball right here on K-West. Back to live action. They're going to bring in Sofia Gonzalez to bat for Chapa. The pitcher is the flex position. There is 1 out with runners at first and second, and the first pitch to Gonzalez misses for ball 1. Swings at that one and fouls it back. One ball, 1 strike is the count to Sofia Gonzalez. Lays off of that one. That was high for ball 2. Thought about it, but then just didn't go after it. So the Lady Hawks have scored 2 runs in each of the last 3 innings. Have slowly chipped away at this lead. That is outside for ball 3. Swung on, that's going to be fouled and out of play right behind their dugout. And the count now is full. Infante asking for some softballs, and here comes one. So the count is full to the batter, Sofia Gonzalez. Lays off of it for ball 4. And now the bases are loaded. And that's going to bring up Caitlin Gonzalez. No, they're going to go back to Lamb. Gonzalez had batted the last 2 times. And they're going to go back to Michaela Lamb, the first baseman. She is 0 for 1 tonight. She struck out looking back in the second. One out, bases loaded. 10-7 is the score. First pitch missing high for ball 1. Lady Wildcats looking for a double play here. Swung on and hit hard to left field, and it gets past the left fielder. 1 run comes across, 2 runs comes across. Here comes a third. And that's a base clearing double for Michaela Lamb. And we are tied at 10. Now batting is Kayla Garza. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Garza flew out back in the second and has been on her last 2 times, a double, and then she was hit by the pitch her last time at the plate. A big 5-run inning for the Lady Hawks here in the 6th. This is hit hard to left, and it's out of here. A 2-run shot by Garza to give the Hawks the lead. They led 1-0 at the top of the first and now are up 12-10. Seven runs have scored for the Lady Hawks here in the 6th, and they have taken the lead 12-10. Coach Vasquez coming to talk things over with Aubrey Zuniga. The Lady Hawks, I believe, have 5 home runs in this one. Four home runs in this game. So Zuniga stays in the circle. 12-10 is the score. Lady Hawks on top. And that'll bring up Lauren Gonzalez, the left fielder. He's only been on base once, and that was on an error. That was in the fourth. Other than that, she's grounded out and she's flown out. First pitch is in there for strike one. Swings at that one to right field. Morales looks at it, grabs it for out number 2. So Mata represents the 10th batter in this inning. She started things off with a home run. A solo shot to center. First pitch is on the outside corner for strike one. Swings at that one to right field. Morales comes in, makes the grab for out number 3. But a big inning for the Lady Hawks as they score 7 runs, have 2 home runs in the inning, take the lead 12-10. We go to the bottom of the 6th. You're enjoying Lady Wildcat softball right here on K-West.
Welcome to our Weslaco ISD Elementary School. Today I'll be learning about the anatomy of a cell. But later today it will be lights, camera, action, and in the news. Or, alright, who's ready to rock and roll? Or getting ready for my swimming lesson from a certified lifeguard instructor. Weslaco ISD Elementary Schools, where we are living our best lives now.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Batters 8, 9, and 1 coming to the plate for your Lady Wildcats. Cindy Morales, Elena Hernandez, and Kaylin Morales. All the face, Sofia Gonzalez, who came to on in relief back in the 2nd, and since then has only allowed 1 run. Swing and a miss at the first pitch for strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. Oh, 2 pitch. Here he comes. Swing and a miss, strike three. That is strikeout number 6 for Gonzalez. Elena Hernandez at the plate. 0 for 2 and a walk. Fly out, strikeout, and a walk. First pitch, high and away for ball one. Second pitch misses for ball two. Coach Rios calls times out. He wants to come and talk things over or something with home plate umpire Infante. Pointing towards the field, so not sure if there's some substitutions that were made. Or maybe he's not sure of the batting order. Looks like everything is clear. Still some discussions being had. Now they're going to call umpire Rene Cruz in for this discussion. So as they discuss things over, we're going to take a quick time out. You're enjoying Lady Wildcat softball right here on KWS. All right, everybody heads back to their positions. Everybody nodding heads. So whatever the discussion was, looks like everybody comes out in agreement. A lot of times it's just really just clarification, and looks like that was had. So we go back to live action. 2-0 count to the batter, Elaine Hernandez. That pitch is right or below the knees for ball 3. So Hernandez ahead in the count, 3-0. That is in there for strike 1. Hernandez taken all the way. Ball 4. Well, the Lady Wildcats have a runner at first. And we go to the top of the order with Kaylin Morales. Morales is 2 for 3. She singled in the first, popped up in the second, walked in the third, and lined out in the fourth. First pitch is high. Ball 1. In the turf for ball 2. Here comes a 2-0. Ball 3. Three-0 count to Kaylin Morales. Ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by Sofia Gonzalez with 1 out. And that'll bring up Avery Cavazos. Cavazos is 2 for 2 and 2 walks. Been on board every time. First pitch right at the lettering for strike 1. Showing bunt, puts it down. Hustling to first, and everybody's safe. That is the third infield hit for Avery Cavazos. And now the bases are loaded with just one out, and that'll bring up Alana Bautista. Bautista is 2 for 3 and a walk. She's got a single, a double in the first and second, then lined out in the third and walked in the fifth. Swings at the first pitch, and that gets up the middle. 1 run comes across. 2 run on its way. 2 run double for Bautista. 2 RBI double for Bautista. And we are tied at 12. 2 runners in scoring position at second and third. That'll bring up Aubrey Zuniga, the pitcher. Zuniga is 1 for 3. Has struck out her last 2 times at the plate. She walked in the second, but she had that home run in the first. Always a threat when she steps into the box. So we'll see how they handle her. Last time they had first base available, they walked her. So we'll see if they do that again. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back for strike 1. Shows bunt, fouls it back for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, hit hard down the third base line, but it's foul. Count remains 0-2. Oh, 2 once again. That is outside for ball 1. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So there are 2 outs here in the inning. 2 runners on, second and third. That's going to bring up Bella Herrera. Herrera is 1 for 2 and 2 walks. Walked in the first and the fifth. Singled in the second. Grounded out in the fourth. And the first pitch to her is in there for strike 1. Swung on, hit down the first base side, and that's going to be foul. So once again, Gonzalez ahead in the count. She was ahead in the count to the previous batter. And now ahead in the count, 0-2 to Herrera. That is high for ball one. So good job by Herrera not to chase something out of the strike zone. Swung on, fouled back. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Low for ball 2. Two count. High for ball 3. The count is now full. So Herrera, after falling behind in the count, 0-2, has worked her way to a full count. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Runners at third and second. Here comes the payoff pitch. Inside for ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. That'll bring up Saraí Gonzalez, the center fielder. She is 1 for 4 tonight. Grounded out in the first, grounded out in the second, singled in the fourth, struck out in the fifth. First pitch to Gonzalez. That is in there for strike 1. Slaps it down the third base side. Right into first, and she's on. That is an RBI infield single for Gonzalez. And now your Lady Wildcats back on top, 13-12. Bases still loaded, and that'll bring up Mariah Lopez. Swing and a miss for the first pitch to Lopez. Lopez has reached twice. She reached in the second on an error and had that big triple to right center field back in the fourth. Swings at that one. It's going to be foul for strike 2. So for the third straight batter, Sofia Gonzalez, the pitcher, finds herself ahead in the count, 0-2. That is called strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But your Lady Wildcats do get 3 runs here in the bottom of the 6th to recapture the lead. We head to the 7th. Your Lady Wildcats lead by 1, 13-12. We'll be right back with the 7th inning right here on K-West.
I've been a basketball player ever since I was in elementary school. Through sports, I've learned to be a leader and manage my time. Soon, I'll be off to college, and I'll have to decide which sport to play at the next level.
Registration is now open for the 2025-2026 school year.
Top of the 7th inning, Lady Wildcats up 13-12. Sunny Wheeler, Raylin Grimaldo, and Layla Lamb all due up for the Lady Hawks. First pitch right at the letters for strike one. Swung on, fly ball, center field. In comes Gonzalez, and she makes the grab. So 1 out here in the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up Raylin Grimaldo. Grimaldo has reached 3 times in 4 times at the plate. Only time she didn't reach was in the 3rd when she struck out. Watches the first pitch go by for a strike. She singled in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, homered in the 5th, and reached on an error in the 6th. Swung on, high fly ball, back goes Gonzalez. She's at the warning track, and she makes the grab for the 2nd out. Lady Wildcats 1 out away from victory. Layla Lamb now at the plate. She too has been on every time with the exception of once. And just like Grimaldo, she singled in the 1st, homered in the 5th, singled in the 6th, struck out in the 3rd. And the first pitch is in there for strike one. Swung on, hit hard to left field, right over the left fielder's head, goes to the fence, and she will stay at first for a single. And that's going to bring up Yvette Garcia. Garcia is 1 for 4 tonight. Flew out in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th, flew out in the 5th, and had a single in the 6th. First pitch to Garcia, swung on, fouled down the first base side. 0-1 to count to Garcia. Trios calls a timeout. Going to have a courtesy runner at first base. Looks like that's going to be Gia Almatrani. 0-1 is the count to Garcia. Back in the box. Missing low for ball 1. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. So Wildcat Nation getting loud here with 2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter, Garcia. A lot of them on their feet. One strike away from victory. Right back at the pitcher. She picks it up, fires it to first for out number 3. And your Lady Wildcats win this one. The final score, your Lady Wildcats 13, the Lady Hawks 12. Your Lady Wildcats defeat them. The Lady Hawks get themselves back into playoff spot, split the season series with the Lady Hawks. But more importantly, as I mentioned, back into playoff position. Winning pitcher, Aubrey Zuniga. What a game tonight. Want to thank our cameraman, Vinny Berry. I am Joe Aguilar saying good night from Wildcat Softball Field, where once again, your Lady Wildcats defeat the Lady Hawks of Harlingen South. The final score, your Lady Wildcats 13, the Lady Hawks 12. We'll see you next time right here on K-West.